young girls joining us from across Africa. I am Amandla Ndisi, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here in the presence of Africa's most precious assets, the young leaders of today and tomorrow, the trailblazers and change makers that are shaping up the continent and communities. It's an important opportunity for you all to learn, to share, and to inspire each other. The fact that there is so much diversity here today just tells me that you are all in for 2 days of life-changing and rich conversation. I hope you're all ready to engage deeply with each other and that you have joined with an open mind to allow yourself to listen and learn from your peers. Because no matter how young you are, you all have a story worth sharing. No one story is the same, and it's these different life experiences that make you unique, and you have the potential to alter and shape your fellow sisters' view of the world. So I urge you to freely share your story or your journey, because you never know how having the courage to share could broaden and change someone's thinking. No one person is exactly like you. Yes, the young girls here may be from Africa, may be the same age, or you may have someone who's born on the exact same day as you. But no matter how similar someone is to you, there is only one you. And you can't be anyone but you. So yes, embrace the similarities you share with your sisters present here over the next couple of days, but always remember to celebrate the things that make you, you. Just never dim your light to find acceptance. And if you feel that you have to shrink yourself to fit in, it's not worth it. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and I just want you to be unapologetic for being who you are. Take up space wherever you are, because wherever you are, you have the right and deserve to be there.
According to UNESCO, the sub-Saharan Africa in particular has the highest rates of education exclusion. According to UIS data, almost 60% of young people between the ages 15 and 17 are not in school. It is also cited that across the region, the African region, 9 million girls between ages about 6 and 11 will never go to school, compared to other 6 million boys. The disadvantage of these girls is that this starts early. And so 23% of the girls are out of school, out of primary school, compared to 19% of the boys. Education is a tool to change the world, and that means that everyone should have education to change the world.
If I am to be a minister of education or a state president or a state leader who is termed as the president, working within my site where I envision a Liberia in Africa, a place where everyone can reach their fullest potential, I, in cordial relationship with my cabinets, will make education absolutely free, but will also create appetite so that everyone can run after. Moreover, I will have a pass into law free access to sanitary pads and school meals to keep the most needed in school as well.
If you ask me, one of the most important values for education, first is it is empower girls to make choices. It is very important to educate the girls because first, after you educate them now, they can set up goals and achieve them. They can say, this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to do it.
In our countries or in our culture, always like we have this idea about the girl is you will be a woman, you will have your own families, you will have a lot of things to do, is to raise your children and everything, but we never think about her as a human, as a person that she can one day, like she can speak up, she can make a change in the world, she can do something good for her first, because actually here when we are talking about change, we can't just come and make a change just like that, no, but we always start from ourselves. So this is actually the most thing that can a girl challenge to finish or to get access to her education.
It is certain that some girls lost their parents during the coronavirus outbreak, and some have become babies' mothers. Moreover, some has reached the point of resolving on giving up on education, especially in my country, Liberia. With all those troubles ahead of the resumption of school, there is a need for national and international interventions. In order to have them succeed this time, there is a need for psychosocial counseling, scholarships, meal distribution, and shelter for victims and less fortunate. I think we need to see how best we can help those girls who think they aren't worth being leaders. Because if we can capture them in molding them for the better, our one Africa will be great.
We can nurture girls African leaders by making sure that they are at the center of everything.
My name is Vicky Aridi, and I'm the youth focal point for the United Nations Joint SDG Fund. And I will be your moderator for today's conversation that's focused on sexual reproductive health and rights, with a key focus on menstrual health. So our first panelist is Chantal Umuhonza from Rwanda. Could you tell us one thing you would like the world to celebrate about periods today?
Period is empowering and should be celebrated positively and happily, and it should be normalized, full stop.
What I can say is we are all equal. We are all human beings. There is no more chance to be violation of our rights. We as girls, we need to stand up and speak our voice, and our voice need to be heard.
Information is broad, and this should not only focus on body development, how people change as they grow up. It could also focus on comprehensive sexuality education as a whole. They should also have information on access to products. How can one access the products? Which products are safer? Which ones are better? Which ones one can afford? There should also be discussions around normalizing menstruation. And that's why I believe these topics should be discussed both between boys and girls, and should not only be for girls, because that also continues to reinforce the idea that sexual and reproductive health and rights should be a secret and only something that girls can talk about. Yes, so it's everything from mental health. Some girls, due to some stigma attached to menstruation, sometimes they take it as a disease. They take it as something that is not okay for them. So girls need somebody to talk to. Girls need access to products that are really accessible and affordable. And this is also a discussion we need to keep talking about, because up to now, I think in almost all African countries, menstrual products are not affordable. They need services in terms of mental health. They need, some people to talk to among other girls, to learn, but also unlearn about the myth related to menstruation. We need to unlearn the myth. We need to get information, the correct, scientifically correct information to girls when they're still young, even before they start the menstruation period, so that by the time they start, they already know how to go about it.
We have to encourage each other to have some power, to stand, to speak about our violence in our community. We are also able to be in positions of power, like in government structures in our community. So through these structures, because we are there, we have chance to speak to our different stakeholders about our rights.
Yeah, I think overall is to invest in production of the menstrual products locally, preferably. There are different women-led factories, but also organizations that are locally that are trying to locally produce some products, but the government needs to support them. And so investing in the locally made products, but also making sure that after they have been made, they can be distributed, they can be available in schools, all the schools, and free of charge, almost the same way how governments have invested in family planning products and sexual reproductive health products, condoms and all that, where you can find that these are available most of the times. Like, for example, in my country, they're almost free. Contraception and condoms are almost really free for everyone. And they are widely distributed in local health centers and schools and all that.
I'd like to call on Chantal to give in just one sentence. One sentence, a message to all the girls listening. One sentence.
One sentence is stay informed, stay empowered, don't lose your voice.
Allow me to introduce and invite the participants. So yesterday, after the session, we went to our breakout sessions, and as we have done day 1 and day 2 yesterday and today, we are going to still do the same thing, just so that all of us who are in different breakout sessions yesterday are able to understand what are some of the learnings and key insights that we were able to gather off of the various breakout rooms.
Girls talked about Ruby cups, which are not very accessible to everyone, and they cost approximately 1,500 Kenyan shillings and can be used for up to 10 years. Another thing that was talked about was disposable pads, which are thrown in pit latrines and which are so fat, and it's hard to maintain hygiene. Not everyone also cannot afford pads, whose average cost per pack is 50 Kenyan shillings. They are accessible to some girls, but not all.
So, one of our participants from Tanzania said that a packet of pads goes for 2,000 Tanzanian shillings, and it has 10 as in 10 per piece. Wow. Okay, so and then some of the participants from Kenya also said that they buy a packet of pads for 120 shillings, which is 7 per piece. We also discussed some problems that some girls encounter when buying the products. The first and foremost was poverty, which is usually the most rampant, where the girls usually do not have enough money to purchase these products. We talked about how some of the retail stores or wholesale stores at some areas do not have any products available. So there is an availability of these products, especially in rural areas.
So in our group, we discussed about how does not giving access to menstrual health products affect girls. So like the girls who are unable to access menstrual health products, they don't go to school during their periods due to some taboo, stigma and shame associated with periods. The strategies that we came up with were we thought that the government should supply pads to schools so as to achieve menstrual equity.
So the main points I got from the meeting was that we should educate our girls on alternative menstrual products and make them not only available but also affordable. The other thing we learned about is to allow girls to choose what works for them, because they know themselves better. They know what they want and what works for them best. And then another thing we looked at is that we should create workshops to educate parents and caregivers on sexual reproductive health rights so that they can understand what the girl needs, what the girl is supposed to be provided with, to avoid like the imposing and whatsoever. And then lastly, we talked about we should ensure that the menstrual materials are available even in the rural areas, because in the rural areas we don't have these products, they're not available.
Harmful traditional practices are forms of violence committed primarily against women and girls in specific communities and societies for so long that they are considered or presented by perpetrators as part of accepted cultural practices.
I think it's very clear. A few things. Leave no stone unturned, leave nobody behind, leave no topic uncovered. So here's a short poem written by a lady called Rupi Kaur, who's a feminist poet, and she answers this question: what's the greatest lesson a woman or a girl should learn? Here's the answer: that since day one, she's already had everything she needs within herself. It's the world that convinced her she did not. So young girls from across Africa, do not forget, do not apologize. Be bold, be courageous, own spaces, own your power. Every single girl has inherent power, which means you're born with it. You don't get it. It's not like an application that you download and upload. No, you have power, you're powerful, and it is upon you. It's upon you and your sister and your niece and your desk mate and your best friend. It's upon all of you to change the world in your own little tiny way.